Welcome to Joe's Astrology. This is the birth chart for Justin Bieber. You can see he's a Scorpio rising, moon in Libra, and a sun in Pisces. So, first thing I'm going to look at here is the rising at 29 degrees Scorpio with Pluto there at 28 degrees, and the ruler of his chart, which is Pluto, in the 12th house. So we're definitely going to see some Pisces 12th house themes when we look at this chart, just by looking at that. And with Pluto there at 28 degrees and the rising at 29 degrees Scorpio, there's definitely going to be some mystery with this guy. There's going to be some involvement with money, some focus with money on his life. Could be some focus on mental health issues. There's definitely going to be some, of course, usually what comes with a lot of money, there is that mystery, that undercover, behind the scenes, just unknown things that may seem dark or secretive as well. So we can see that looking at that Pluto, that the North Node is there as well. So there's this North Node in the 12th with that Pluto in Scorpio. So where he's coming from and where he's headed, there's strong emphasis on that 12th house Scorpio. He also has Jupiter in the 12th house in Scorpio at 14 degrees. So right there we're seeing more, just a lot of emphasis on a lot of the things that I said, that I mentioned in the beginning of this video here. He's coming from a place there with Pluto in the 12th of being someone who potentially could live in a dream world, who's about making his dreams come true. In his case, coming into life with that being a truth, something that is happening without him really even doing anything. So let's take a look at the sun, because that's in Pisces as well. And it's conjunct Venus. So this can make him a very attractive person. Again, the sun, but the sun being in Pisces, this is really reinforcing everything that I mentioned about that. Living in a dream world. Someone who is involved with behind the scenes activity, knowing people behind the scenes. And then that Venus in Pisces, where it's exalted. This could, with Neptune being the ruler of Pisces, this could be a musician. So we're starting to see with that Sun and Venus, particularly with Venus in the 4th as well. It's on an angular house where it's going to make it stronger. We're starting to see that music, this confirmation that this person is involved with music. We can see his moon is in the 11th and it's in Libra, and the ruler of Libra is Venus. Which comes back to this Venus here in the 4th in Pisces. So the moon is really, it's also an aspect with Venus, but it's really being touched by Venus in multiple ways. And in the 11th house, this is would be a very popular person, could be a very famous person. So now we're seeing that with that moon being involved, that this person not only be involved in music, but they would be very popular with their music. And then speaking of the 11th house and popularity, we see down here he has Mars and Mercury in Aquarius. And Mars could be considered the ruler of the rising as well, being the co-ruler of Scorpio. It's also that Mars is also making a square to Pluto. It's making a trine to that moon in the 11th. So we could say that this is a social icon. We're starting to see indications that this is all adding up to create a person who is a very social person, or a very popular social person, or as I say, a social icon. We see Mars in with Mercury there, all in the third house, with Aquarius ruling the third house. This could be a person who has a very popular voice, a very famous singer. We can see that Mars as well is an aspect to Neptune and Uranus there in the second. And this person has a Mars. He has a Mars Saturn conjunction as well. So a lot of Mars and Saturn involved in this chart to really give him that work ethic, backing up his talent. Uh, so someone, not just someone who's famous, but somebody who would work hard to really facilitate getting famous, doing the work that's necessary to become popular. So some other good fortunate aspects he has. He has the moon moving towards Jupiter. Is Jupiter in a trine to the sun? Is Jupiter in a trine to Venus? And he has Jupiter moving away from a trine, so close enough trine to Saturn. So lots of favorable aspects. In addition, is Jupiter conjunct the North Node, and it's in the degree of the midheaven. So lots of good placements and good aspects when it comes to Jupiter. Jupiter is also in the 12th house, where it likes to be. Jupiter being the ruler of Pisces. Now, he has been known to have some mental health issues, and that comes along with the third house and having Aquarius in the third house, having four planets in the third house, and the midheaven, what he's known for, uh, having Virgo there on the midheaven. And even Mercury there in Aquarius in an air sign. That kind of comes with the territory, with a life. Um, with a life like this, with lots of positives with those placements, but also there can be those negatives too that he would have to work through. Now, what's interesting is that he's very famous, he's very popular, but you would think of someone who's very famous and having a high status as being associated with the 10th house, but you can see all of his planets here in the 4th house. But you have to think of how he got famous and why he's famous or how he's famous. And it's more has to do with his musical ability, which we would associate with the night side of the chart more so than the um, the day side, particularly for him because of the fact that he's famous. He got famous amongst the youth, and he's very popular for that. And we could say that more has to do with the emotions because the youth are very emotional. And this is what we would see when it comes to being popular and famous amongst the youth, the 11th house and the 4th house here, rather than, say, the 10th house or Capricorn. So I'm going to leave it there for now. That is just a mini birth chart reading for Justin Bieber.